Donna Kelce's house was supposed to be the warm heart of another ordinary Friday family dinner. Laughter, teasing, and too much food. Taylor Swift had spent the entire week preparing for it. She wanted everything to be perfect, her outfit, her homemade apple pie, even her small talk. She wasn't meeting the president, just the family of the man she loved. But somehow it felt even more important. When she arrived, it was everything she hoped for. Donna greeted her like an old friend, wrapping her in a hug that smelled like cinnamon and safety. Jason made his usual jokes about Travis, finally dating someone way out of his league, while Kylie and Taylor bonded instantly over the chaos of loving high-profile partners. Even the nieces were enchanted, dragging Taylor off to show her their bedrooms and proudly displaying their Eras Tour merch for her to sign. For the first hour, Taylor could finally breathe. She laughed at Ed's terrible dad jokes and helped Kylie set the table. For a brief, shining moment, she wasn't Taylor Swift, global icon. She was just a woman in love, trying to fit into the rhythm of a new family. But then Aunt Linda walked in. Late, loud, and full of opinions. The moment she took off her coat, the air seemed to tighten, and Travis's smile faltered. He had tried to warn Taylor about her aunt's honesty, but no amount of warning could prepare anyone for Linda. And then, as everyone sat down, Linda smiled sweetly across the table and said the words that would turn the evening upside down. "You know, Taylor, it must be hard for someone like you to understand real family traditions when you're always on the road performing." The room froze. Forks stopped midair. Laughter died instantly. And Taylor's smile, that easy, open warmth, vanished behind a practiced, polite mask. Travis felt his stomach sink the second Aunt Linda's words hit the air. He had seen Taylor handle interviews with cruel questions, reporters trying to bait her into scandal. But this was different. This was family. His family. Taylor's expression didn't crack at first. She simply tilted her head, that calm professionalism sliding into place. "Excuse me?" she said softly, though her voice carried the weight of steel. It was the same tone she used when someone crossed a line. Not loud, not angry, but lethal in its restraint. "Oh, I just mean," Linda continued, completely oblivious, "that you must miss a lot of family time because of your work. I can't imagine what it's like, always choosing career over holidays. It must be hard to really understand what family means when you're always traveling." The silence that followed was suffocating. Kylie nearly dropped her fork. Jason's jaw tightened. Donna's eyes flashed with warning. "Linda, that's enough." But it was too late. The damage was done. "I'm just saying what everyone's thinking," Linda added casually, reaching for the mashed potatoes like she hadn't just detonated a bomb in the middle of dinner. "When you date someone like Taylor Swift, you have to accept that you'll never be their priority. Her career will always come first, and Travis did nothing." He sat frozen, every nerve screaming, but his voice trapped somewhere between guilt and disbelief. He saw the flash of pain cross Taylor's face, gone in an instant, replaced by that too-perfect smile she wore when she was hurting. She set her fork down, folded her napkin, and rose gracefully. "Excuse me," she said, her tone soft but shaking slightly. She turned, head high, and walked out of the dining room, and Travis just sat there, watching her leave, wishing he had done something, anything, before it was too late. The moment the bathroom door closed behind Taylor, the dining room erupted. "What the hell is wrong with you?" Jason snapped, slamming his hand against the table so hard the silverware jumped. "You can't just say that to someone, especially in front of everyone." "That was completely out of line, Linda," Kylie added, her voice sharp with disgust. Donna looked like she was 2 seconds away from throwing her sister-in-law out of the house herself, and Ed sat rubbing his temples, muttering something under his breath about needing stronger wine. But Travis said nothing. He just sat there, numb, trapped in the echo of his own silence. The realization hit him like a punch to the chest. He had failed her. His aunt had humiliated Taylor, and he had let it happen. "Linda, you need to apologize," Donna said firmly, her voice low but dangerous. "I was just being honest," Linda protested, her tone defensive, like she couldn't understand why everyone was suddenly against her. "Travis deserves someone who can actually be there for him. Someone who isn't halfway around the world half the time. That's when Travis finally moved. He stood up slowly, his chair scraping against the floor. When he spoke, his voice was quiet, but every word carried the weight of fire. "Get out," he said. Linda blinked, clearly stunned. "Travis, Get out of my mother's house," he repeated, his jaw clenched. "Now. You don't get to talk about Taylor like that. You don't get to judge her life or her choices. You don't even know her." Linda stared at him, searching for support, but none came. "I was trying to protect you," she whispered. "Protect me?" Travis's voice rose, the anger finally breaking through. "From what?" "From the most incredible woman I've ever met. From someone who makes me happier than I've ever been. You think I need protection from her?" The table was dead silent. "She calls her parents every day, even when she's in a different time zone. She flies her whole family out to be with her when she can. She sends gifts and letters to her nieces and nephews because she actually cares. That woman knows more about love and loyalty than most people ever will." Linda's face drained of color. "So, yeah," Travis finished, his voice shaking. "You need to leave. Because she's coming back any minute, and I've got to fix what I just broke by being too damn scared to defend her." Without another word, Linda grabbed her bag and left, and Travis turned toward the hallway, toward the sound of running water behind the closed bathroom door. He took a deep breath and knocked softly. "Tay," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "Can we talk?" From the other side of the bathroom door, Travis could hear the steady rush of water, the sink running, the quiet sobs she was trying to hide. His chest ached with guilt. He had never hated silence more in his life. "Tay," he said gently, knocking once. "Can we talk?" "I'm fine," she replied, but her voice was tight, trembling. "I'll be out in a minute." "I know you're not fine," he murmured. "And I know I screwed up. Please, let me in." A long pause followed. Then the faint sound of the lock turning. The door opened. Taylor stood there, mascara streaked down her cheeks, her hands shaking slightly. For the first time that night, she didn't look like the composed superstar everyone saw on stage. She looked heartbreakingly human, small, hurt, and exhausted. "I'm so sorry," Travis began, but she lifted her hand to stop him. "Don't," she whispered, her voice cracking. "Don't say you're sorry, Travis." "Not yet." He froze, unsure whether to move closer or keep his distance. "Do you have any idea how humiliating that was?" Taylor said, her voice trembling with anger and pain. "Your aunt basically told me I'll never be good enough for your family. That I don't understand what family means. That I'm some kind of selfish robot who only cares about fame. And you just sat there." Every word cut through him like glass. "I know," he said hoarsely. "You're right, I froze. I didn't know what to do, and by the time I did, you were already gone. But that's not an excuse. You deserved better than that. Better than me sitting there like a coward." Taylor looked away, blinking fast. "Do you know why I was crying in here?" Travis shook his head. "Because for a minute," she whispered, "I believed her." Travis's heart stopped. "Believed her?" "Taylor, no." She nodded, voice shaking. "I did. For a second, I thought maybe she was right. Maybe I am too focused on my career. Maybe I don't know how to do the whole family thing. Maybe I'll never be the kind of partner you need." "That's insane," Travis said, stepping closer but still afraid to touch her. "You're the most loving, family-oriented person I've ever met." Taylor gave a bitter, quiet laugh. "But I'm not normal, Travis. I can't give you Friday night dinners every week. I can't promise I'll be at every birthday or every game. My life is complicated. It's messy. And maybe your aunt is right. Maybe that's not fair to you." That was the moment Travis finally moved. He wrapped his arms around her, pulling her against his chest even as she resisted at first. "Stop," he murmured. "Stop right there. Linda doesn't know what she's talking about." He held her tighter. "She doesn't know that you FaceTimed my mom last week for 2 hours just to get her pot roast recipe because you wanted to make me feel at home in New York. She doesn't know that you changed your entire tour schedule just so you could be at my playoff games. She doesn't know you spent an hour teaching my nieces the Eras dances over FaceTime. Taylor pressed her face into his chest, her shoulders shaking. "She doesn't know," he said softly, "that I love you so much it scares the hell out of me. And I'm sorry I didn't say it out there when it mattered most. I'm sorry I didn't defend you immediately. But I swear to you, that will never happen again." Taylor looked up at him through tear-filled eyes. "I was scared," she whispered. "Scared of what?" "That maybe I don't belong in your world," she said quietly. "That maybe I'm too different, too complicated, too much." Travis cupped her face gently, his thumb brushing away her tears. "You listen to me, Taylor Allison Swift. You're not too much. You are exactly right. And anyone in my family who can't see that doesn't deserve to know you." For a long moment, they simply stood there, wrapped in each other's arms in Donna Kelce's guest bathroom, letting the chaos outside fade away. The hum of the house, the faint laughter from the dining room, even the weight of what had happened seemed to pause around them. Finally, Taylor took a shaky breath and stepped back. "I probably look terrible," she said, attempting a weak smile as she wiped her face. Travis shook his head. "You look beautiful. You always do. Even when you're crying in my mom's bathroom because my aunt decided to audition for Worst Human Alive." That earned him a small laugh. Soft, but real. It felt like a victory. "We should probably go back out there," Taylor said, straightening her sweater and tucking a loose strand of hair behind her ear. "We don't have to," Travis offered. "We can leave. Go grab burgers somewhere, forget this whole thing ever happened." Taylor's expression hardened slightly. Not with anger, but with resolve. "No, I'm not going to let her win by making me run away. I'm going to go back out there, finish dinner, and show your family that I'm not going anywhere." He smiled at her, proud and in awe. "You sure?" "I'm sure," she said. Then, softer, "But Travis, next time someone attacks me, I need you to say something. Even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's your family. I can handle people being cruel. I've dealt with that my whole career. What I can't handle is feeling like I'm facing it alone." Travis nodded, his voice steady. "You'll never face it alone again. I swear to you, Tay, never again." They took each other's hands and walked back toward the dining room, side by side, stronger than before. When Taylor and Travis stepped back into the dining room, the noise died instantly. Every face turned toward them. A mix of guilt, awkwardness, and worry painted across the table. The tension was thick enough to touch. Donna stood first. "Taylor, honey," she said gently, "I am so sorry about Linda. She had no right to say those things to you. You are welcome in this house any time, and I hope you know how much we love having you here." Taylor smiled politely, her voice steady but soft. "Thank you, Mrs. Kelce. That means a lot." "Please," Donna said with a warm smile. "Call me Donna, and I mean it. You're family now." Something about that word, family, made Taylor's chest tighten, but this time it wasn't from pain. It was from relief. Dinner went on, awkward at first, but slowly easing back into something resembling normal. Jason cracked terrible jokes to break the silence. Kylie steered the conversation toward Taylor's tour plans. And Ed tried to lighten the mood with old stories about Travis as a mischievous kid who once glued his brother's football cleats together. Bit by bit, laughter returned to the table. The storm had passed. Not perfectly, but enough to breathe again. Later that night, Travis drove Taylor back to her hotel. The world outside was quiet, city lights flickering past the windshield. Neither of them spoke for a while. They didn't need to. Finally, Taylor broke the silence. "Thank you for standing up for me," she said softly. "I should have done it sooner," Travis admitted. The second she opened her mouth, Taylor turned to look at him, her expression gentle. "You did it when it mattered. You told your family I was worth fighting for. That's what counts," he smiled faintly. "You are worth fighting for, Tay. You're worth everything." They sat there for a long moment, the engine humming quietly, their hands finding each other between the seats. In that silence there was understanding, the kind that only comes after breaking, apologizing and choosing to rebuild. 3 days later, Taylor's phone lit up with a call from Donna Kelce. "Hi, sweetheart," Donna began, her voice warm but tinged with guilt. "I just wanted to apologize again for what happened. Linda had no right to say those things to you. I raised my boys to respect women, and that means not tolerating anyone, family or not, who disrespects the women they love. Taylor felt her throat tighten. Donna, you don't have to. Oh, I do, Donna interrupted gently. Because you're part of this family now, Taylor. And we protect our family. Tears welled in Taylor's eyes, but this time they weren't from pain. They were from gratitude. Thank you, she whispered. That Thanksgiving, 6 months later, Taylor sat at the same dinner table, this time laughing with the nieces, helping Donna in the kitchen and teasing Travis about burning the rolls. The air felt warm again, the tension long gone. Linda wasn't there, but a handwritten letter was. A long, emotional apology that she'd sent to both Travis and Taylor, admitting she'd been cruel and small-minded. Taylor read it quietly, smiled, and said, I forgive her. But she didn't forget. Later that night, as the family played board games and music played softly in the background, Taylor caught Travis watching her from across the room. He mouthed, Thank you, she mouthed back. For what? He smiled. For staying. And that was the truth of it. Love wasn't just built on romantic moments or grand gestures. It was built in the small, messy choices, the uncomfortable dinners, the apologies, the decision to keep showing up. Because in the end, family wasn't about blood or tradition. It was about the people who chose you, and the ones you chose right back.